See, because everyone wants me to tell them the 5-step strategy that they need to use to grow their business. And even though that 5-step strategy works, even though I can tell you that selling moving from selling one to one to one to many has transformed my life, creating offers that speaks to your ideal client that help them, even though selling is serving, I can tell you all of that. The reality is, for you to even believe, or even for you to even get to that point, it is, in this day and age, it is so challenging. It is so hard. And that's the truth. And that's the truth. Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But because there's so much other layers of things that you have to overcome. You have to overcome your courage, your confidence, your consistency. Those are all things that I believe that we have to create self-development first. And many of the times when clients work with me, the reason why some may struggle with their success is because they're still dealing with their own courage and their own confidence to be honest with themselves. Like, because they're still having that self-doubt and that self-sabotage. And if there's one strategy that I think you need to incorporate inside of your business, it's not about just going live every day. It's not about having a problem that you can solve for your client. It's not just that. The main focus, the main thing that we have to pay attention to is understand that we have to incorporate a prayer life inside our business. We have to have a prayer life, especially in this season, because everything around you is going to look like you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time when you post a content about your business. You're wasting your time when you upload a video on YouTube. You're wasting your time when you try to create or write that book. You're wasting your time when you create that digital product or that digital course. It's going to seem like evidence around you seem like this is just a waste of time. I'm going to put all this work in and not get the results. And I've had clients say that to me as well. But truth of the matter is, all work is either working on you or is working in you. So we know that all work. The point that we have to overcome, we have to be stronger than our fear. We have to hold fast and go to a place that seek evidence of the thing that we desire. What does that mean for you? In this episode, I really want to dive into how do you keep working even when you feel like that's enough. How do you keep going? Where do you get the courage to keep going even though sometimes you just want to say that's enough? And if it weren't for my prayer life, if it weren't for me really studying, reading, I'm a reader. That's my secret weapon. I love to read, and I love my favorite thing, and that's the Bible. And I'm right now I'm in Second Samuel, and it was talk about all the disruption and all the things David had to go through in his life, even when Saul was attacking him and tried to find him, and even Saul's own son Jonathan was against his father because he know his father had no right chasing down David, and he stand against his father to support David. But David had to run away from his country. He had to run away and seek help everywhere else because Saul was out to get him, all because Saul was just jealous of his success. So jealous of his success, and he faced death. And even when he came to his enemy, which was Saul, he could have killed him, but instead he just ripped a piece of his clothing to let him know that he was there. And when I think of all the things that's happening around us right now and how we getting through all the situation that's been happening, how we getting through it. Every time I want to think about, oh my God, how can we do this? How can we still think about working and still think about our business even in time like this? And then I go right back to the Bible. I go right back to David. I go right back to First and Second Samuel. And I think about Saul and Samuel and David, all the things, and Moses, all the things that these men of God had to work through, or had to accomplish to be where they are, to fulfill the vision, because it's not my vision, and it's not your vision. I think about all the things that they have to go through to fulfill their vision of God, the vision that God has for them. And had they stop and say, there's too much going on in the world right now, we're not going to fight, we're going to put down our sword, we're just going to give in, we're just going to wave our white flag. Just a shift of them doing that would have changed everything in history. So just a shift, you saying, this is too much, I can't go on. Just imagine if we had lived back in those days. And one thing all those men had in common, including Saul, had in common, they were prayer warriors. They were prayer warriors. They prayed to God constantly to seek wisdom, to seek knowledge. So if you're feeling lost right now, this podcast is for you, because I want to remind you that you got a secret weapon. You have a secret weapon that you have not used yet. You have a Hail Mary, as they call it in football, when the player has used up all the choices in their playbook and they have to figure out one more move. There's one more move that they need to make, and they don't know if that move is going to work, and they call that a Hail Mary. So I want you to call on to your Hail Mary right now, because that is your prayer. That is your prayer has been my mighty sword that has been getting me through the death of a client. Prayer has been my mighty sword that has been getting me through my business and helping my clients even when I'm sick. Prayer has been, you can't separate God from business. He gives you the knowledge. He gives you the understanding, because there's no way you can stay sane in a time like this have you not be able to have prayer and last, meditation. You have to have those two things combined. You have to become a prayer warrior, and then you have to have the meditation, because the meditation, and what happened is it allows you to sit, be still, and listen to what the commandments are, what the instructions are. It allows you to be still, listen to what God commandment is. What is he ordaining you to do? What is the next step? What is the next thing? And we're so busy thinking that we're leading our own life, which is what got us to where we are today, and not remembering that God got us to where we are today. So therefore, we need to seek him first. Seek the kingdom first. And what is seeking the kingdom first? That means being still and talking to God and asking him for his wisdom. I tell my clients, I say, here, this is a strategy, but go to God. Let him direct you on what to do. Then you take the strategy and use it as you see fit based on your conversation with God. And then you be quiet and have that meditation moment where you allow God to tell you what to do next. You allow him to come into your heart and tell you what is the next move you need to make. And then based on what he says, then that's when you take action. Only on the move he asks you to do. You do not wait. You start taking action on what God said for you to do. This is where you pray harder. This is where you show up more. This is not the time to back down and allow fear to win, because the only way fear can win if you stop. Only way fear can win if you stop. Only way fear can win if you stop. And that's what the devil wants you to do. He wants you to stop, because when you stop, the person that you're called to touch, the person you're called to heal is not going to get healed. And then he win. He allowed these distraction of what's going on in the world, exterior world, to come up on you. When reality is, those things are going to happen with or without you. The only thing you have control is how you react to life. So I want to tell you right now, this is the time you use your brain. This is a time you be wiser. This is a time you step up. This is a time that you keep going because you're needed in this space. You're needed right now. So let this podcast episode be the episode that transform your mind and give you the desire to keep going. If you needed evidence, if you should keep going, this is it. This is it. If you need evidence that if you should keep going, then this is it. This is the evidence you've been looking for to keep going. This is it. And I want to remind you that you are worthy to keep going. I want to remind you because it's not by accident you're listening to this. So if you're saying, oh, this is a waste of time, I want to remind you it is not. Because the minute you put down that mantle, the minute you say, I don't want this gift anymore. I don't want to help people with their life insurance. I don't want to help people buy their home. I don't want to help people with their taxes anymore. I don't want to help people with their life coaching anymore. I don't want to be a therapist for people anymore. Once you said that, he won. The devil won. So I can come in here and give you strategies all day. But if the person who's doing this strategy is not in alignment with the strategy, it won't work. So let's get back in alignment. Let's get back in alignment because the Bible said we'll know you by your fruits. Your fruits. And right now we need your fruit. We need your gift. We need you out into the world. We don't need you to be distracted. We need you to be prepared and ready to go because the battle is up on us. But guess what? Hear the good news, though. We know the outcome. We know the outcome. We know we won. We know the outcome. You know the outcome. You know at the end of the day, with everything that's going on, at the end of the day, you win. You win. You already know. The battle was already won a long time ago. So why are we in fear? If we already know the outcome, why are we in fear? We fear no man but God. So since we know the outcome, since we know the results, we can walk through fire and don't get burned because we know the outcome. So I just want to encourage you today that work as if you know the outcome. Put in the work as if you already know the outcome. God bless you.